All right, we're live. Nice. Hey, Henny. Actually, I just saw your question in chat. So it looks like the function of find. Is it possible to add a parent-child relationship as a post operation between IPA tokens that are already with? Yes, that is absolutely possible. Henny, are you using the SDK or are you using the smart contracts directly? Because I have an answer for both. You are using these smart contracts. Okay, let's actually go ahead and answer that question now because I think that's the most important. So, protocol. Here we go. So I believe that should be inside of modules, licensing module. Let's see if it's in here. Um, register derivative. Here we go. This is the function that you are looking for. Because this takes a child IP ID, which already exists, the parent IP IDs that already exist, and license terms that you want to use to attach them. So that should be the exact function that you're looking for. You're very welcome. Okay, I'm also going to make a quick announcement to the real world assets. We are starting dev office hours now at here. Come join us in. I don't know why Discord doesn't give you the option to ping like channels. I always have to do this like custom thing. Okay. All right, so as you all know, on Thursdays we do our fun office hours. We're gonna do like marketing and ecosystem updates first, and then we're gonna dive into some developer updates. And then because we're in the build-a-thon, I'm actually gonna leave the majority of this section open to questions. And if we don't get any questions, I'll be here until the end time, just so that people can roll in and ask questions if they want. But let's go ahead and get started. So. First of all, marketing ecosystem updates. Welcome, Rehab to Story. So I actually didn't even know about this guy before Story. Apparently, he's actually a pretty famous DJ. He's got like 1 million followers on Twitter. He's got, I think, a couple million on YouTube. And he just created a new song called Drip Drip. And he's touring the world right now, and he's basically playing the song at some of the venues that he goes to. I will admit, it's not, I guess, my type of song, but because it's pretty like I guess hardcore EDM, but it is like a pretty cool song. And he actually just released his song on Music by Virtuals, and there is a drip token that's now live, and obviously the song is soon to be registered as IP on Story, so that we can search on it, we can license it, we can it can earn royalties, we can use it in our videos, etc. So pretty cool actually that he's coming to Story. Again, I would really recommend checking him out. He's a pretty famous guy. Um, so yeah, it's still looking on his laptop after. Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be doing dev office hours even after the sun implodes. There is no soon, only register. Yep, Yoda did say that. All right. Also, new portal features. So I'm just gonna walk through this because I think it's kind of cool to look at. Um, And so yeah, so this is the portal now. So as you probably note, there's a few updates to it. So there's now a search bar, which is pretty cool. There's also a walletless sign-in option, so you can use Google instead of having to like create a wallet and fund it. You can now use walletless sign-in, and I believe we have sponsored transactions now, which is pretty awesome. And if you want to register your work, you can now batch register, so you can actually upload multiple files here and register multiple assets at the same time. So this was helpful because a lot of people were like individually registering all their works. It was just like, a lot to deal with. So now they can batch register their IP, which is awesome. That's cool. Obviously, because we like to keep it real in here, I think the search is awesome, but I think it could still be improved. When I type IPI here, kind of takes a while for it to pull, come up. And you'll notice here that when I do type in IPI, it you know it comes up with all these things. It's actually cool that it's returning our. Oh, see, look, see, this is interesting. See, like this IPI right here, this isn't even the official IPI, right? This is like some, I think, just version or remix that someone registered. See, it's not even created by Story. So I think the search could still be massively improved. Obviously, search is a very, very difficult issue on the blockchain. It's a tough problem to solve wherever you go. But we are creating solutions to make that better, including IP on top, which I showed you a couple weeks ago, and what Robert's building, etc. Sorry, I just had to sneeze. Okay. It is very hard to do, yeah, but we're still making it better. I believe right now it's just a simple search over like the whole asset table, but you also want to return results by maybe how much IP is staked on it, or how many times it's been licensed, or how many times it's been remixed, or stuff like that. So, Robert, I know it's problems that even we've been talking back and forth about for some time. So on top of that, there's also a Vario blog that was released. This is actually personally very interesting for me. Any of you that have been coming to office hours know that I yap on and on about Vario and staking as attesting to IP validity. So this is right up my alley here. I'm going to send this link in the chat. I think if any of you are interested in IP validity or the Story attestation service, this is a great blog post to read about how Vario is contributing to that service. Where the more IP that is staked on an asset, the more valid it likely is. So just a really cool mechanism going on with Vario. Henny says, in my experience with IP Portal, if users are registered an IPA from another platform, there are cases where terms were not added. It'd be nice if so Henny, I believe you're saying it would be nice if people could register their IP asset and not have to attach terms, maybe. So maybe like you upload your IP and don't have to add terms right away, and we're definitely going to add that in the future. Absolutely. Vario's insane genius for bring. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, Vario is really cool. This is like my personal sort of like favorite. Like I think the stuff Vario is doing across IP5, but also on the attestation service side is really, really cool. Also more fun, we have the Azuki Art contest that wrapped up. So I believe 5 people actually won this contest. We basically gave them, or Azuki gave them like a base sort of prompt and image, and people remixed it, and they came up with some beautiful images, this being one of them. And we're going to pay out royalties to those remix images on Story. So really cool stuff. And on top of that, Out of the Nest, which is a legitimate Netflix I guess what's it called? Like Netflix IP is also registering their assets on Story. I believe that they've actually already registered their characters on Story, which is really cool. So again, a show that you can watch on Netflix is now registered as IP on Story. So really cool to see that as well. About custom NFT metadata format, enforcement, and license. Yeah. Yeah, I believe the portal, because we're still, relatively unsure about even our own metadata standards, the portal, has its own opinions about NFT and IP metadata. But, we're working towards one sort of unified solution. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Robert. Cool. Also, thought it was just worth mentioning that Pizza DAO mascot is now on Story. And now let's get to the dev update. So, as always, the next TypeScript SDK release is v1.3.2. I think this is coming out on June 6th. So stay tuned for that. More musicians. Yeah, well, actually, I think I can't remember. Well, I mean, here we go. Right, but yeah, we'll just have to wait for this to be registered as IP. I think 2 weeks ago, one of these announcements was like a new EDM song that was registered on Story, but I think it was done via the portal. Also, just thought I would mention IP on top again. IP on top. The reason I'm mentioning it is because it's a good example of React development on Story. So for those of you in the Build-a-thon, if you are building a React application, it might be good to check out this open source GitHub repo IP on top is completely open source. Basically, it was created as a way for me to say, hey, I think we should showcase like popular IP, allow for easy search. Like, you can look up IP and boom, it's right there. So just thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, I plan on adding some music IPs to this as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's a good example of open source React development. Now, on top of that, this is my interest of the week is cross-chain royalty payments via dBridge. So I made a tweet yesterday, basically describing. I'll allow us to look at this image while I talk about this. But basically, you can now pay IP assets cross-chain, which I think is really cool. So what this means is I can, for example, have an IP, right? Let's say it's a piece of music. I can pay I can pay that music. Actually, sorry, I'll make a different example. Let's say Wannabe here, creates a song, and I use that song inside my music video, and I have to pay him royalties, right? I can now pay him royalties, for example, in ETH on Ethereum, right? So, yeah, you're gonna sue me? Perfect. Yeah, sue me. No, but I can now pay royalties on any other chain using any other token. So I could pay you in Solana or in Sol. I could pay you in ETH. I could pay you in Base, whatever. Forget what their token even is. Who cares, right? Yeah, we love IP. But so I don't really. Yeah, but you can pay in any other token. So the way this works is with dBridge, where you can start on any chain, right? Let's say we're paying an ETH on mainnet Ethereum. dBridge swaps ETH to wrapped IP token and then makes the payment to pay royalty on behalf, which will then pay to the royalty module and will get distributed up the IP asset chain. Yes, so dBridge is only on mainnet for now. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, no, exactly, Wannabe. That's actually why I wanted to add some color to it here, so that you could kind of check out what he was describing. And also just we in the meantime, since that tutorial, actually, I've been talking with that dBridge guy. He's really awesome, and we've been sort of coming up with a tutorial or boilerplate code you can use to kind of check out. So the way that it works is you use dBridge's DLN to make a cross-chain token swap. That's what this is right here, where you send money in and then money comes out. That is the like DLN. Then you can attach a DLN hook to this transaction that will take the swap tokens and pay an IP asset on Story. So the DLN hook basically says, okay, you can attach an arbitrary transaction to that swapping, that DLN swapping, that will execute when it's completed. So in this case, the DLN hook is the call to pay royalty on behalf, where again, the DLN swaps the tokens, and then the DLN hook says, okay, after you swap, take the swap tokens, which is the 5 wrapped IP, and call pay royalty on behalf. Then, once executed, royalties will flow up the IP graph, just as we see here, right? So that now it's a normal Story transaction and flows up the graph. So you can check out the docs for DLN on dBridge's docs here, or you can check out this working code example, which shows you how to construct that sort of like swapping. So I actually have it pulled up on my computer right here, and this is the test. And I'm going to go ahead and run the test right here, and I'll explain what it's doing. So when you run the test here, it's going to return. Actually, I'll walk through the code. Essentially, it's doing 3 different things. It's building the DLN hook. It's building an API URL and then calling the API. So I'll explain what this does. So first, it makes a DLN hook. So just as I described here, the DLN hook is what is attached to the call here that makes this call pay royalty on behalf on Story. So if we go to cursor here, you can see that all we're doing is we're encoding pay royalty on behalf and making it into a fancy string, and we're just going to attach this to the call. The next step is building the API request. And so this just says a few things. This just says, okay, where are we starting? We're starting on Ethereum. Where are we ending up? We're ending up on Story, right? That's the destination chain. What token are we sending in? Well, we're sending in ETH. What token are we getting out? Wrapped IP. How much are we getting out? And you can see that's actually destination chain token amount here. So we're getting out, like, let's say 5 wrapped IP. And then other parameters, right? So this IP is basically just describing the swap. And then we're executing that API URL. And all we're getting back is a response. And you can see that the test passed, and this is the response. It's basically gives you an estimation for how much that would cost and then transaction data so you can actually execute it. So again, this API is basically you describing what you want to do. It gives you back transaction data, and then now I could take that response and go out elsewhere and actually execute that transaction on Ethereum, and it would do that whole swap and pay royalties and all that kind of stuff. And just one last thing on this note, if you want to, you can also go to the cross-chain royalty payments. I made a whole tutorial on our docs that also walks through all of this. So definitely a good idea to check out. What's nice that unlike an AM, there's no danger of incurring a liability or a loss more than the money in your certificate while the pace. Yeah, right, exactly. That's the power of the chain. Oh yes, thanks for linking, Wannabe. That's very true. Yeah, you can check that out too. Okay, so I actually went a little overboard on this part, but if anyone has any questions about that, you're free to ask. I'm now gonna totally open the floor to any questions because yeah, this is I want to give proper time for build-a-thon participants. So if you have any questions, you can ask now. If you're in the build-a-thon, you have any developer questions, you can also ask, and I'm just gonna be here for the next 15 minutes. So
can I start, please?
Yeah.
So I'm working on this thing like about adapting PEEL to the Ukrainian legal system, right? And like crafting some kind of data frame for this to work and work with the digital government apps in Ukraine because we have like Dia app, which is where all Ukrainians store their driving licenses, all this stuff, we can sign petitions and work with legal stuff through this. Well, that's kind of the vector, right? And I was trying to find legal info, not legal info, but information in general about how PEEL works. I basically quickly found these three from the blog overview, the GitHub PEEL document, right? And the docs themselves, but I've never found how do I describe it? How PEEL is actually kind of implemented inside the USA law, right? So it's hard to articulate, but what I'm asking is about maybe you know of some other sources that showcase how story protocol PEEL works in the legal system of USA, how it's applied, just more info about that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I will answer this question, but disclaimer that I'm not a legal expert, so the answer that I give you may be, it could be totally incorrect. It could be, whatever. So I wouldn't take what I say as total facts. But the way that I understand it is, if we take a look at this sort of link here, when you go to a U.S. copyright office, right? And you walk into court, and let's say you're disputing, or someone's disputing your use of their IP, right? And you're sitting there in court, you know, it, you could essentially have like, I could take a piece of paper, right? I could take a napkin and just say like, oh, do you allow me to use your IP? Right? Signature here, right? And then ask you to put your signature right here, right? And I can literally take this napkin and I could go to court and say, hey, he signed this napkin. He said that I could use his IP, right? So you can really bring like any evidence to court. And really what the judge is deciding on is there proper evidence that were aware of the IP use, that you agreed to those terms, and and now you misuse them. So it's at least the way that I understand it is, it's not that the pill is like registered into some U.S. copyright directory. It's more that this is based on existing copyright law which exists, where there are certain standards of like how this legal template is formatted, how, like, what terms the copyright office and judge are even able to understand, things like that. And so, because this is based on U.S. copyright law, if you were to walk into court with this license and say, "Hey, on Story, this person registered their IP, they licensed, that IP, and the terms are all laid out in this document," then the judge, would not just say, likely say, "Okay, well, this case is resolved," but they would say, "Oh, okay, that is ample evidence that this person agreed to these terms, and now they misuse those terms." So I hope that makes a little more sense. I guess the summary is that the way that I understand it is it's not that this is like registered into some U.S. directory for copyright. It's more that this provides you strong evidence to be used in court, the same way that a napkin would, or the same way that a more complicated legal document would as well.
Yeah, nice. That's actually what I thought, and yeah, it helps a bunch, and it can be rightfully adapted to the Ukrainian legal system and work just fine. Okay, thank you. If anyone here knows of any like sources about any more sources of Peel and Story Protocol legal side of things, you read some long reads on Twitter or something like this, please send them to me. I will be really grateful. Thank you.
Sure, I will also I will ask our legal team to provide any extra resources they can as well. So we got a question. Is the update of the SDK out now? So I believe you're asking about this one. So no, this will be out on June 6th. Or is the target date right now. You're welcome. Love the claps. That's the highlight of my week right there.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask one more question, build upon solely related. Once you completed the project, how do you actually like send it to the team of Buildathon? I just didn't get it.
Oh yeah, good question. So I think that's actually not live yet. So I believe they're gonna send out like a submission form towards the end.
Oh, all right. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. Anyone have any fun plans this weekend? Besides obviously building the best real world assets project you could build. Coding, but then I'll try something different and do programming. That's a very good answer. I'll do that too, actually. Oh, that's great, Wannabe. Have a great time. Touching grass? How dare you? Oh, you're going on vacation. Where are you going? Europe and Turkey. Wow, that's amazing. The place I really want to go next is probably Italy and Japan. That would be my favorite. Or Switzerland. or Amsterdam. Taking vacation to concentrate on both, I hope. Oh yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as vacation here. If I find out anyone's going on vacation, you're banned from the Discord. My only fun my only fun plan is to continue building coding. That's what I love to hear, Elite Voyager. I'm gonna give that a bunch of reactions. That's what's expected in here. My suspicion is Ramses goes on vacation with 3 smartphones, a laptop, and a crypto. Yeah, and some boxing gloves too. Wasn't there like a boxing anime? I actually watched like the first. Oh yeah, this one. He's Hajime no Ippo. This is Ramses right here. I actually watched like the first 3 episodes of it. It was really good. I just for whatever reason stopped watching, but I should go back to that. Yeah, no, exactly. It kind of gave me like I mean not really, but my favorite animes of all time are like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, and those are just amazing. But it had that like older feel. Yeah, me too. Literally me too. That's I mean, I think I actually looked at my Apple most like my Apple Replay or whatever, like when it gives you your like most listened to songs, and it was all Nujabes. Because when I'm driving in the car or I'm on like a long road trip or whatever, just whatever it is, I love listening to him. It's just so good. You do feel blessed, exactly right. It makes your whole life seem like it's going great, even if you're down. It's a very comforting feeling. Nightcore, ooh, I love Nightcore. You know what I actually listen to a lot? Um, is what's it called? Lo-fi boy. This guy. Fun fact, when I was in college, when I actually started my Web3 journey, I listened to Lo-Fi Boy every single night when I was coding. He's my favorite. Because I originally listened to Lo-Fi Girl, but then Lo-Fi Boy, like they did like a huge announcement. And it's actually kind of cool because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you look in here, you see this window right here? That's Lo-Fi Girl in there. And then so their whole release was like Lo-Fi Girl looked out her window and then looked into this window and it was him. And that's how they did the release. Yeah. Little Easter egg from Jacob on Lo-Fi. Who would have thought? Oh, Razor Nightcore. It's not an anime. It's like a type of music, like a type of lo-fi, I guess. Yeah, genre. That's a better way of putting it. Yeah, exactly. That's a wonderful way of putting it. It also can be quite like existential. Like sometimes it's like a guy riding a motorcycle through like a busy town and he's just like escaping the cops or something and you're like, "Oh my God." Yeah, it's very dark, very existential, very like futuristic. It's great. Japanese can shred too, but have a wonderful tendency to play really. Yeah, Mm-hmm. With that being said, I'm actually gonna go listen to Lo-Fi Boy. So let me. I'll give you guys an outro. I'll give you guys like a YouTube outro. Ready? Can you guys hear the music? Can you guys hear it? You can? Okay. All right, everyone, it's Jacob Tucker here. Thanks for tuning in today. Make sure to like and subscribe to these Dev Office Hours. And I gotta wait for the beat drop. Oh wait, it already dropped. Wait, shit, I missed it. Okay, all right, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week on Dev Office Hours. Also, if you have any questions about the Build-A-thon, make sure to ask in this Discord. And always happy to help out. Have a great weekend, and take care. Enjoy vacation. Enjoy family. That's the Jacob outro. Boom. Goodbye. Yes, hit the notification button, you piece of shit. Bye-bye.